Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be grocery store plant shopping at the Kroger out in North Houston, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. I would really appreciate it if you did press that thumbs up or like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at GrowFolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. You can see that this video was actually filmed when I was visiting my grandmother for her 90th birthday celebration. I had a little bit of time before the actual celebration happened, so I wanted to check out what Kroger had in terms of plants. So we're going to just take a look to see. Now, I will say this, for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. Kroger is one of those places that if you're able to go to this grocery store, you're going to find some very cost-effective plants for just really good prices. You'd be surprised about what plants you will find. Typically for the indoor tropical plants, they are usually sourced out by Mason Farms as well as Costa Farms and Urban Jungle Plants, specifically the hanging baskets. You can see right over here for $29.99, we've got some beautiful hibiscus flowers right here. Love hibiscus flowers. Unfortunately for me, my grow zone is 8B. I'm actually based out in North Dallas. These plants cannot be grown in my landscape because they are not perennials. They're a tropical plant. So whenever winter comes around, when we get snow, it definitely will not survive the cold weather. I do love hibiscus, and it's really interesting, all of the new hybrids that are coming around with hibiscus. Now, when you think of hibiscus, though, you do think about the red blooms, and you can see they've got a bunch of Miracle Grow potting soil mix, and for $4.49, they've got these small sets of fig trees. And, you know, I've gotten into bonsai. So for those that don't know what bonsai is, it's basically growing a miniature tree in a shallow pot. I would think that these would be perfect candidates to make into pre-bonsai. Let me know in the comments section if that's something that I should do. But a lot of my other content that I've been working really hard on, I will have up ready to go very soon. I've been able to catch up on a lot of things. You know, the last 2 weeks, I haven't been nearly as consistent about trying to get the daily video up. Unfortunately, life gets in the way, job gets in the way, and then I just wanted to take a little bit more time to myself. I wanted to not overexert myself for a little bit. I did end up getting a little bit sick. I'm still recovering from that as I edit this video, but I did want to take you alongside with me as I go plant shopping. So this is going to be a two-part video where I definitely check out this grocery store, and then we're going to be checking out Walmart to see what Walmart plants we have available. So I'm just going to walk around here and just show you the plants that they have. Let me know in the comments section if you enjoy doing outdoor gardening, because my outdoor garden is really coming to life. I've got a lot of vegetables. My Japanese maples are doing very well, and I was able to get more seeds to germinate. So that's something I will eventually share with the plant foldy community. I did want to say thank you to everybody who has joined the Super Plant Foldy tier. That is my YouTube membership. For only $2.99, you will see some more personalized content with my personal plants. I believe I will be doing my houseplant tour premiere on that platform. So definitely check that out. If you are interested in joining my YouTube membership page, all you have to do is click the join link, which is in the comment section of this video. I have it pinned up, but let me just pan around here and just show you the rest of the outdoor plants that they have available. What's interesting is whenever you go shopping for plants, you never know where you're going to find plants at really good prices. And most people, when you think about going to the grocery store, you think about doing your groceries. It's crazy how, as I've done all of these plant shopping videos, I don't go to grocery stores to actually do my grocery shopping. That's like an afterthought for me. It's more of, I want to go to a grocery store to see if I could find beautiful outdoor plants like this for such good prices. Petunias are definitely in, especially for spring season, for your spring garden. But as far as Kroger, Corner. They have some really cost-effective plants, and I definitely want to share that with the plant foldies today. Really excited and thankful that for those that always tune in to the live premiere chats, for those that show kindness and spend a lot of time leaving comments in the comments section and interacting with the other plant foldies, thank you so much for that. And then you can see over here, plant foldies again, petunia mix, $16.99. Look at how beautiful the colors of these plants are. I love petunias, and what I like about petunias is certain ones actually deadhead themselves, so you don't necessarily have to worry about cutting off the blooms when they die. They just get rid of it themselves, which I really like. And if you look at how beautiful the white blooms are there, I mean, I absolutely love it. It's one of those petunias that I'm actually curious about maybe even adding that into my collection, even though these are plants that are considered annuals. Let me know in the comment section if you also grow flowers for the spring and summer. I definitely am somebody that loves blooms, and we're gonna go see what they have available in this Kroger. What's interesting is whenever I'm traveling, I love to see what kind of plants are available at different parts of the state of Texas. And I'm curious to see what other plants are popping up in other places throughout the country. You know, we have lots of plant foldies all over the United States, but also internationally. So shout out to all of my Canadian plant foldies specifically, because there's a lot of you guys that tune in. Really appreciate that. But petunias, those are amazing plants, and they even have the glow-in-the-dark petunias that have come out by Costa Farms. But anyways, before we get into that,
hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Love Plants.
and I am Richie from Grow Folds, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you going to do? You're going to share the video. That's
have
what
to.
you're
You
gonna do.
have to. Today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one.
and just like most grocery stores, if there's going to be indoor tropical plants or plants, it's always going to be in the floral section. Whenever you see daffodils, tulips, and hyacinths, you know that we are in spring season. I love spring season, so it's really a toss-up between spring or fall, which is my favorite season of the year. I love both because you get all of the beautiful fall colors, but you also get the rebirth and reblooms of so many beautiful flowers. And like I said again, it's always nice to see philodendrons and just different types of plants that used to be uncommon. You can see this is a philodendron hastatum, or a silver sword. Really love the look of this plant as well. And I did want to say shout out to Plant Foldy D specifically. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sending me a philodendron silver sword to Peta's Planters. It is doing very well in my care. And you know, this is why Wild Interiors, this one right here, is for $19.98. I have to say, the kindness that the Plant Foldies show me, and even the support that our Plant Foldies give for Peta's Planters. And if you don't know who Peta's Planters is, it is my favorite plant shop in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Definitely shop PetasPlanters.com. And for those that actually tune into Peta's Planters Instagram live selling, thank you guys for always supporting small businesses. It definitely helps support her dream. And it's one of those places where you want to spend your time. You want to support people that have the same visions, that align with the same type of thought process. And that is all about being kind to each other. And that's one thing that I did want to highlight with the community today, you know, is the fact that we always need to slow down and think about our actions, how we treat people, how we interact with people, what we say to people, and what those repercussions are. I am a big advocate when it comes to social media etiquette, just the way we interact with people on a digital space. And that's why for the plant folding nights, the ones that come out, to my defense, whenever there is somebody that may not have thought about what they really wanted to say in a more constructive way, thank you for that. And that's the thing. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent as I show you these beautiful plants. I've been told that I'm too talkative. I've been told that I am repetitive. I've been told that they just want to see the plants. Love that. But I am one of those folks that I'm really going to draw the line in the sand that if, somebody's not interested in the format in which I create my content, it is not going to hurt my feelings if somebody just doesn't engage in the channel. But, I was reading the comments with my grandmother. She sees that stuff too. And we were discussing how certain people just have the tenacity to just freely say things without thinking about, would you say that to your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your brother, your friends, your family, somebody like that. So I always want to be that champion when it comes to just being really mindful about people's spaces and how that goes about. My grandmother did say that if you do put yourself on social media, you do subject yourself to people having opinions. Totally get that, but in the other sense, I also think that I have a say on how I want this channel to be, and it's one of those things where negativity, like I said again, plant foldies, you already know is not going to be tolerated, and you pretty much will just be highlighted to where people can see how you want to be in a negative light. So just a little tangent. You already know whenever I go plant shopping, I love to tell you my thoughts, and I think a lot of the plant foldies appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. Now let's get back to the plants right over here so you can see. At Kroger, we have a bunch of these wild interiors curated series. These are for $19.98. I just picked up one of those philodendron white princess. Beautiful plant, but I love the fact that even a grocery store like Kroger grocery store is now carrying philodendrons. You can see right over here, we've got another philodendron. I believe this is a philodendron white knight. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's a white knight because it does not have the pink petioles with it. Beautiful plant. It's a pretty fast growing plant, surprisingly. And this is another philodendron that you do need to give it some type of support because it wants to climb. That's why whenever you're going to buy a house plant, do know what the natural inclination is of the plant. Otherwise, it's not going to give you the best growth. I mean, this one right here is a philodendron kempii. Love this plant as well. And it does get very long, narrow leaves. It does want to grow more of like a wider form versus climbing. Really love the texture of it. And this is another prime example of a beautiful green plant. I know we all love the variegation on a lot of the plants, but let's always go back and think about the beauty of just looking at green foliage. It's the most natural way we are supposed to look at plants. The variegation is really a genetic mutation of the plant. It's just interesting as human beings, we gravitate to these mutations. And it's just interesting how a plant's value does increase whenever there is some weird variegation that happens. For me, I like both. I won't say that I am not somebody that goes after a variegated plant. I definitely do. But there is something that I've learned throughout my plant shopping videos that I've been doing for about a year and a half. I can't believe you guys have actually stayed in with me doing these plant shopping videos for almost a year and a half. I've just realized that whenever you go back to the basics, whenever you go back to the easy care plants, you're going to have less stress in your life and more joy because a plant is not demanding so much of your time. And speaking of an easy to care for plant, $13.99. We've got a bunch of these spider plants. And spider plants, they are plants that a lot of people will also overlook. What's interesting about spider plants is they do produce a lot of little babies that you can propagate. That's really the era I'm at right now. Is I love the idea of just propagating many different plants. I mean, free plants are great. That is the best way to save money, is if you are able to acquire a free plant. And no, I'm not encouraging you to do prop lifting. And speaking of prop lifting, if you haven't checked out the YouTube plant podcast that I'm part of, Cultivation Corner, definitely check it out. The season finale for season 2, where we discuss plant scandals, plant tea, plant drama. Definitely check that out, because there was a whole subject about prop lifting. If you are listening to my video and you are watching this right now, my message for anybody that prop lifts, please reflect and think about why you would actually lower your moral integrity for a plant. It's always easy just to ask somebody, could you get a cutting? Could you pay for a cutting? Could you, XYZ, work a deal out. Do not lower your actual morals because of a plant. It is so crazy. There are so many other subjects I could talk about. Let's just say, even at plant shows, I won't confirm which plant shows, there were so many instances where people were really robbing these sellers of plants. That's just crazy. And I hope that I don't have Plantfoldy viewers that have that unmoral tenacity to just steal a plant. So that's another 2 cents of mine. I haven't been able to really create new content, and I've had a lot of things to say. And so that is another thing I wanted to put out there. I think having these plant shopping videos where I can freely talk to you guys, if you engage to talk and listen to me, I just want people to really think about the plant community, the actions that people go about things, the judgment, all of that. I think, when something becomes so commercialized and there's like a monetary value for a particular plant, that's where things get a little bit hairy. What isn't hairy is this beautiful Alocasia Mickey Mouse. This is another one for only $13.99. And like I said again, whenever you go to like a Kroger grocery store, you will find some hidden gems. And so I'm just going to walk around and pick up a couple more of these plants. Feel free to leave in the comments section, Plantfoldies, which plants you actually like that I'm showing you at Kroger. And if you want to see more grocery store plant shopping videos, I know I do a lot of big box store plant shopping videos. I know that I need to show you some more of my plant hauls. There's a lot of things I need to do, but one thing is for sure, you're still going to get that daily plant shopping video if I can help it. So let's keep walking around here and I'll show you some more plants. And this is another beautiful friendship plant, or Pilea peperomoides. Love how it has that beautiful shape. And that's another plant that used to be the it plant about 6 years ago. It was super expensive, but now you can buy it at a grocery store. And that is the beautiful thing about plants. They become accessible. So if you practice a little bit of patience, if you feel like you don't need the plant today and wait just about a year or even 2, you will be able to acquire that wish list plant. I know that there's a lot of different types of plants that are wish list plants. I mean, my wish list plant is an Aglaonema crown of Siam, for instance. Right now, I can find it for about $400, but I feel like if I wait another year or so, the price is gonna go down. So we'll see what that all looks like. Now, as far as Kroger grocery stores, Kroger Grocery has tons of Phalaenopsis orchids, but take a look at this Plantfoldies, an urban jungle fixture of hanging baskets of plants for only $12.99. That is a low price when you go plant shopping for plants. I mean, take a look at this. This is an 8-inch hanging basket of a beautiful Rex begonia. $12.99. How do you beat that? That is probably the most inexpensive plant pricing. And no, we are not shopping at a big box store. We are literally going to a grocery store and we're finding urban jungle plants, low price for only $12.99. That is insane. I was honestly tempted to buy this Rex begonia. That is a beautiful one, or even these syngoniums. But I mean, can you believe that? I would challenge anybody to let me know if you find 8-inch hanging basket planters this full for only $12.99. That is crazy. I love it. I mean, I was even tempted to buy this syngonium here. As I mentioned in my previous videos, I am in love with syngoniums. Again, syngoniums and I are back in a mutual relationship. We're doing very well because my syngoniums are actually growing in semi-hydroponic substrates, leca and pond. So that for me is going to make it easier. And that's the thing about syngoniums. They're a quote easy to care for plant if you are somebody that is consistent at watering. I am not. These plants are super thirsty, so you don't want to let them dry out completely for too long. Otherwise, they start to get droopy. They start to lose their leaves. It's just a bad thing. Now, like this one right here, this neon illusion, beautiful syngonium. Again, it is only for $12.99. What a great plant price. And my suggestion for anybody, again, that goes shopping for plants, do your research. Look at what the plants are selling for at other retailers or other places and compare and contrast. Don't feel the need to have to go spend your money and buy plants. Look for those deals. This is a great deal. So if you're able to find 8-inch hanging baskets of urban jungle plants at Kroger, that is probably going to be the most inexpensive, cheapest house plants you can find as compared to all of the other retailers such as Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, or even Target. That's just my experience. You might be able to find them less. I mean, like, take a look at that leaf right there. That is amazing. That gets me excited. And, you know, when I do my voiceover and actually do the commentary, I can kind of just feel what I felt when I actually filmed the plant. And that is another reason why, yes, my format of my videos is pretty much the same. But for me, on a selfish note, it's me really finding that therapy, that mindfulness to just be able to walk around, film some plants and really enjoy the foliage and just being able to pick the plant up and then know that I'm going to be providing that same type of joy and love for plants with the plant foldy community. So, you know, syngoniums, we got a red marantha, we've got a lot of beautiful hanging baskets, and these are only for $12.99. Literally, I would have bought all of the hanging baskets of plants because I felt like it was such a great price, low price for only $12.99. But alas, I definitely did not do that. And foldies, have you ever heard of this new soil called Classy Rabbit? which is from a local small business out in McKinney, Texas. Really excited to share with you this new soil, which is 100% organic. What I love about it is that this is a standalone type soil. You don't have to mix orchid bark or other amendatives that actually make this soil chunky. It is already chunky, light, and fast draining. You can use it to improve your existing soil. What I also like about it is they are made by farmers, so they don't really consult like soil scientists or whatever that means. They really know what Mother Nature has in the soil. And what I like about it is I've been able to pot up a lot of my plants from overseas, and they have really acclimated to this soil. I love the fact that, again, it is 100% organic, and the ingredients that we have would be rabbit manure, composed food waste, pine bark chips, mycorrhizae, dried molasses, pumice, and expanded shale, rice hulls, and yucca extract. So all of those ingredients really make this soil. It is balanced, and what I love about it is Classy Rabbit products are simple where it counts, smart where they matter. So that means all of the ingredients that the soil needs, it's right there. They don't need to add anything else, and they don't offer anything that they don't need. I also love the fact that Classy Rabbit is priced well, where it's a happy medium between the low prices of cheap, and when I say cheap, quality, and the high prices of unnecessary ingredients. It kind of balances it both. And if you see right here, I potted this aglaonema up in a terracotta planter. You can see how fast draining it is as I put a bunch of water into the soil. You can see that it is literally just draining through, but just because it's fast draining, it doesn't mean that it doesn't retain moisture. It definitely does. But I love the fact that I don't have to worry about adding any perlite, because this particular soil doesn't have perlite. It has all natural ingredients. So for those that have never heard about Classy Rabbit, please go to classyrabbit.com. I highly endorse this soil. I love it so much. And even though I've been doing semi-hydroponic substrates like lechuzapon and leca, I've actually been converting all of my plants back to soil because of this particular soil. They do offer free shipping at classyrabbit.com. Let me know in the comments section if you're interested, and hopefully you will support Classy Rabbit. I mean, have you pooped on your plants lately? I would. Haven't bought your Classy Rabbit soil? Definitely go to classyrabbit.com. Order a bag, try it out. Let me know what you think about the soil in the comment section. I absolutely love it. My aglaonema do well. Now we are going big box store plant shopping. Big box store plant shopping at Walmart in Prosper, Texas. It is a windy afternoon when I visited the Prosper, Texas location. Again, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And you can see right over here, what a beautiful selection of blooming plants. We talk about petunias right here. And here's the thing about petunias. There's so many different hybrids. Now, here's the thing. You want to make sure that you are growing your petunias in full sun. These types of flowers, like the majority of flowers, actually need a lot of light to produce those beautiful blooms. Petunias are an annual plant, so these plants you really can't keep alive past the growing season. Same thing with marigolds, but here's the thing about marigolds. Marigolds, when you plant them near your vegetable or herb garden, they actually help repel certain plant pests, which I think is a natural way versus using like pesticides. Really like the idea of having that companion plant. And so for me, you know, I know that a lot of you guys look at the indoor tropical plants, and let me put this out there again because I love to speak my mind. What frustrates me sometimes about the algorithm is if you don't subject yourself to a very specific niche, which would be, let me go ahead and use that keyword, right? Big box store plant shopping videos. And if you deviate from that and do something like, say, I don't know, Japanese maples or bonsai or something of that nature, even if, say, a subscriber or a viewer is subscribed to your channel, sometimes the algorithm will not recommend that. And to me, that's kind of just frustrating because I feel like, a specific channel can introduce different types of content to expose people to different types of things. So I am kind of going against the grain slightly. I'm still showing you guys plants, but that's the reason why, if you are curious as to why I've spent a little bit more time on the outdoor garden section, it's because I also enjoy outdoor gardening. Honestly, if you were to ask my opinion, growing plants outdoors in a garden, it's so much easier than growing tropical indoor plants. And hear me out. Tropical indoor plants, for instance, you have to have grow lights. You have to have a chunky soil aeroid mix. You have to have a specific watering regimen and pest control. Versus growing all of these beautiful outdoor plants like these hostas, for instance, you just plop them in the ground, and if you have like a sprinkler system, that is it. You don't always have to worry about plant pests, because if you grow plants outdoors, there are natural pest predators that get rid of that. I don't really ever think about plants ever really getting spider mites outdoors. And like aphids, yes, but if you have ladybugs or any types of beneficial insects that get rid of those plant pests, then you are good to go. Tomatoes. Can I talk about tomatoes for a second? I love growing tomatoes. Now, here's the thing about tomatoes. They need to be out in full sun if you're going to grow them in a garden. And as far as weather, they like warmer weather conditions. They just perform a little bit better. If you were to buy some of these Bonnie vegetable plants right here, when you plant your tomato, you want to plant it further into the ground. So some of the stem needs to go into the ground. That way it doesn't get so leggy very quickly. It's going to definitely need a support. But as you can see here, plant foldies, the Prosper Walmart. If you're going to go shopping here, it's not necessarily the biggest outdoor garden center for Walmart, but you're still able to see Delphinium, for instance, for $18.88 by Better Homes and Garden. So you can still get lots of plants here. It's not the biggest selection, but I'm still thankful that, this is a Walmart that's close to where I am based at. So I'm easily able to go to this location and film this content. Rumor has it that they are actually getting the Costa Farms rare cactus and succulent fixture. So, stay tuned for that. If I'm able to find it, you already know, plant foldies, I will share it with you. I did want to ask our plant foldies, now that we're on the subject of outdoor gardening, how many of you guys actually grow plants outdoors, or are you specifically somebody that grows only indoor tropical plants? I would love to know in the comments section. And so for the plant foldies that actually participate when I ask questions on the videos, I really appreciate it. But let me know in the comment section, because I'm curious to see what my audience is interested in. And I really just want to get to know the plant foldies. The super plant foldies, or the ones that have actually joined the YouTube membership tier, really appreciate you guys, because I know that you guys are starting to see more of my personal plant collection. I will have more for you guys very soon. And, that's something that I'm excited about, because I don't feel like the algorithm will penalize me if, say, I show you what type of foods I like, because I also consider myself to be very much a foodie, somebody that enjoys trying different types of food. Aside from growing indoor tropical plants, loving creating plant content, I also like to travel. And whenever I travel, I love to try different types of food. So that's another thing I wanted to ask our plant foldies is, what kind of foods are you guys interested in? When I went to my grandmother's 90th birthday celebration, I was really thankful to be around a lot of Filipino food. I mean, me being a Filipino American, proud Filipino American at that, I just miss home cooking. If you have never had Filipino food, try lumpia, which is our egg rolls. Try our pancit, which is our noodles. And there's just so many different types of Filipino flavors, and adobo. Adobo is amazing. So definitely check that out. But that's something I also wanted to share with the plant foldies. Now over here, you can see this is the Island Bloom series. So these are from Costa Farms. $5.84. You can get yourself a white bird of paradise, and you can get a selection of different types of cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. Love cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. As I say in all my videos featuring cordyline Hawaiian tea plants, please grow these outdoors. If you try to grow them indoors, chances are they are going to get spider mites. I've tried it multiple times, and just like Hydra helix, or what you call the Hedera helix, that's the correct way to say English ivy, y'all. They are just spider mite prone, and there are some certain plants. I mean, when you think about it, all the plants we see that we call a house plant, keyword house plant or indoor plant, is not an indoor plant. It was sourced somewhere where the plant could potentially adapt to being grown in an indoor environment. But most plants, especially certain plants, they do very well when they are actually grown outdoors. Some plants, whenever you take them indoors to try to grow them indoors, they just don't adapt well. And the reason why plants end up getting pests like spider mites is because the plant is sending some type of pheromone where it's a little bit more susceptible to being attacked. Now over here, I did want to show you guys this. These are the clearance or AKA 911 rescue me plants. I regret not buying this Aglaonema BJ Friedman for only, let's take a look at the price right here. Let me try to find it again. I can't find the price. I think it was like $12 or something of that nature. I mean, it does have some damaged leaves, but the thing about BJ Friedman Aglaonema, it's a green Aglaonema. Most green leaf Aglaonemas tend to get larger leaves, and they grow a lot faster than the more colorful Aglaonema that we've been all loving. Yeah, $15. That's still not a bad price. That is a Costa Farms release. And BJ Friedman, it is another plant that I would recommend as far as like an easy to care for plant. Here's the thing about Aglaonemas. Most Aglaonemas are easy to care for. All you have to do is make sure that you water the soil when it is completely dry. Aglaonema do not like to be overwatered. I would say still try to grow them in bright indirect light. The greener versions are a lot more resilient than the colorful versions. And you can see even over here, if you're looking to save money, this is for $10. That is a Philodendron Campii. That's the same type of philodendron we just saw at the previous location we were shopping at. But in terms of, buying plants that are marked down on clearance, my caution is, there might be potential plant pests, and you have to invest a little bit more time to rehab the plant. What I would suggest, and this is what's happening with some of my plants. So there were a couple of plants in my plant room where literally, I'm going to just be really honest, plant foldies. Part of the reason why I haven't done a house plant tour is because I basically created a full-blown drought where I did not water the majority of my Aglaonemas, philodendrons, and all of these plants in my plant room for about a month and a half. Can you believe these plants still stayed barely alive for not being watered for about a month and a half? That's the reason why I am about Aglaonemas, because they are a little bit more drought tolerant resistant, actually really drought tolerant resistant. But there were a lot of philodendrons, a lot of syngoniums, a lot of other plants that definitely got very close to going to plant heaven. So I'm rehabbing a little bit of those plants. But, it just teaches me the fact that when you buy too many plants, you overexert yourself. And, to anybody that might be experiencing plant burnout, you are not alone. I think a lot of times, especially when I'm looking at these beautiful hibiscus plants, for instance, we get super excited about growing plants. So that means we just feel the need to buy all of these plants. I'm not saying plant foldies that we shouldn't indulge and buy plants. Buy the plant if it brings you joy, but just know that any plant you bring is going to require time. And I always feel like there's never enough time to do everything at once, or just try to get as much of the things that you want to get done. Like coleus plants, for instance, love coleus plants. I know some people that is not their jam, but all of the colorful foliage plants are always going to be my jam. I love growing coleus plants. outdoors, but they can be grown indoors in a bright sunny area in your space. These plants can grow long-term indoors. Some people will consider them a house plant, but it's interesting how this has not really been like a plant that would be considered an indoor tropical plant. In the Philippines, they call this the Mayana plant, and these are so easy to propagate. Like if you take a cutting, stick it into soil, you probably have a 98% chance that this plant will root within 4 days. That's really how fast this plant will root. You just want to make sure that the soil remains fairly moist. Now, coleus plants prefer to be more in a shaded area unless they are a sun coleus, and they are very thirsty plants. And here's some more petunias right over here. You can see that this one just has so many beautiful colors. Now this one is a specific type of hybrid, and that's what's interesting. And these ones are the Amor petunias. $8.97 is the price. Beautiful plants. I mean, as a matter of fact, I may end up just getting some petunias to grow as an annual plant on my patio. My back patios actually come along very well. I had so many planters from my other plant casualties, plants that I put to plant heaven, to the point where it just got very cluttered. And now my back patio is a nice little sanctuary alongside my beautiful Japanese maples and ginkgo trees. As a matter of fact, I will be visiting Metro Maples within the next week or two to go buy some more azaleas and Japanese maples. If you haven't already, definitely check out one of my best videos. It's my Metro Maples videos. I just really feel like that was just something a little bit different, a little less talking. For those that don't like me being so talkative, that's just something where you can just immerse yourself in Mother Nature. So if you haven't checked it out, please watch my Metro Maples videos. I've got a full playlist, and that's one thing I did want to highlight too for anybody that has discovered the channel. If you ever feel like you need to binge my content, I would love for you, just go to my channel and just play a playlist. There's so many old school videos. Even check out my origami stuff. I don't know if you guys have actually checked out how to make a paper crane. Let's just say that there are some certain super plant foldies that will be receiving some handmade paper cranes by me, and these are the paper cranes that were actually featured in some of my YouTube how to make a paper crane videos, so you get a little bit of that. Now we're gonna go walk indoors and check out some of the indoor tropical plants by Costa Farms. These are all for $20.96. So we've got a bunch of these trending tropical Costa Farms plants. The first one up is going to be a xanthosoma. So I had a beautiful xanthosoma that I bought from a local nursery called Callaway's Nursery. It didn't do well for me. It actually ended up getting plant pests, and I wasn't sure why. It's something that I want to revisit at some point, but I have been trying to downsize and get my plant collection a little bit more curated. I say that, but then I also announced that I will be getting about 20 new Aglaonema from overseas. Really thankful to Ricky at Art Garden Flowers. He was able to source out some Aglaonema. So definitely send a direct message to Art Garden Flowers on Instagram if you're interested, or if you want to buy any plants from greenspaces.id on Instagram, send me a message. I can possibly get you the plant foldy discount for Aglaonemas. Now, as far as the trending tropical Costa Farms plants, you cannot go wrong with a pothos plant. Or better yet, the way I like to say it is Epipremnum aureum. This one is the global green pothos. This was originally a Japanese pothos. So this was actually a cultivar that was discovered and, mass produced in Japan. Now it is available because Costa Farms has made it readily available for the general public. I spent about $50 on a one leaf, one node cutting about 5 years ago when this plant was considered rare. And it's interesting because more and more Japanese pothos are starting to make it into the market. And, as far as pothos plants, if you're looking for a beginner plant, if you're looking for a plant that is going to bring you joy, that it's going to be easy, that is easy to propagate, that is common but still brings you a lot of joy, become a pothos fan. Just like we've actually made Aglaonema a lot more popular, I think we need to get pothos back in the game. Yes, we see the golden pothos. Yes, we see the marble queen pothos. There is nothing wrong with finding a plant that is going to grow for you very easily and for the most part fairly quickly, and you can take several cuttings. I have about 50 plus pothos cuttings rooting in water. A lot of them just need to be potted up in soil or even semi-hydro substrates. And I'm thinking about actually giving them away for free at a plant swap. There are many plant markets that are happening out in the DFW area. I would actually think about vending at one point, being a vendor and selling plants. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what plants you think I would sell if I were to be a vendor. Just curious to say, to actually see what your input would be on that. But you can see right here, golden pothos. This one is another one for only $9.97. This one is Garden Expert, but the Garden Expert line is actually Walmart's brand for a plant. And, that is actually sourced by Costa Farms. What I didn't realize is Vigoro Plants of Home Depot actually gets some of their plants from Costa Farms. So it is going to be one of my, bucket list things to do is to be able to tour the Costa Farms facilities, because I often talk about Costa Farms. Every day I see a Costa Farms plant if I am going big box store plant shopping, or if I am just walking around throughout my home. I have so many Costa Farms plants. Does that mean that I only support big box stores? Absolutely not. I love supporting small businesses as well. That's why I'm always talking about PETA's planters and featuring some of the local nurseries out there. You will never know what kind of plants you would be able to acquire unless you are just open-minded and you source your plants out from different locations. And today's video, since I haven't been able to put out a brand new plant shopping video in a couple of days, I just get very chatty and I just really want to talk to you guys directly about some of my thoughts. But my thought is right here, Monstera stagliana, $20.96. Beautiful trending tropicals plant. Now this one again is another Monstera, so this one is another plant that you would need to put some type of support for it to climb, because it wants to climb. But overall, does this Walmart have quite a bit of plants? I would say it has a limited selection right now. $15.97 self-watering planter. Another Costa Farms house plant, the classic Aglaonema red Siam. And you already know this is probably the most common Aglaonema, alongside with the Aglaonema Silver Bay. I actually want to know, plant foldies, which one are you team on? Are you team red Siam or team Silver Bay? Let me know in the comment section. But for me, it's still a beautiful plant. Look at the pink stems. Look at the borders on the leaves. It is easy to grow. It is cost effective. It's inexpensive, but it's still such a beautiful plant. For some reason, there is an emotional connection when it comes to just looking at an Aglaonema. I think it's because, as far as a content creator, somebody that utilizes social media, I just feel like I've already made somewhat of an impact on hashtag popularize Aglaonema. I mean, I see that even when all of the plant foldies will get on the PETA's Planters live selling, you guys use the hashtag. So I urge everybody to continue to post, to continue to celebrate Aglaonemas, because as a community, I think we can create a trend, and that trend will continue to spiral to more people if we just show that that plant, it has some value. I mean, this right over here too, Monstera stagliana, this used to be an it plant. I feel like people also overlook it. For me, I like to go root for the underdogs, because I feel like those that don't have a voice to really push these plants are the ones that we need to be pushing, because you never know what kind of joy a certain plant will bring. And me talking about Aglaonemas and just talking about these plants, I've seen the progression where people are really about it. So I did want to say again, thank you to all of those that have actually opened their collections to getting Aglaonemas. But I also want everybody to look at green plants like this, Monstera Peru. $20.96. Again, beautiful plant. Now they have the variegated version, but I do think the variegated version is not as stable. I say let's also, as a plant folding community, celebrate green plants, because green plants is where it's at. Green plants is where you're going to get the most stability. So let me just continue to pick up these plants and show you what they have. And then I want to go delve in a little bit more on planters. This Calathea ornata, priced at $15.97, is a beautiful plant. It does remind me the look of like an aglaonema. I just wish it was just an easy to care for plant. Unfortunately, it is not. Calatheas are definitely not going to make it into my plant collection anytime soon. I've tried multiple times, but they all just scream to go to plant heaven. So I would rather not bring that pain of taking a beautiful plant like this home. It may work for others, but for me, it's just not a plant I would highly recommend for anybody, especially if you don't have the right conditions for it. It does prefer higher humidity levels. It definitely needs to be watered more consistently, and it is spider mite prone, so you just have to like take care of it in terms of making sure you're spraying it with neem oil or some type of pest preventative. Now, if you do have higher humidity levels, that does repel spider mites from forming, but then again, you have to worry about fungus gnats, and there's just a lot more to it than the beautiful foliage it provides. There are other alternatives such as aglaonemas. Now over here is another Epipremnum aureum. Actually, no, it's an Epipremnum pinnatum. This one is the Albo version, and I really love this plant as well. And I remember how this was a super expensive plant, and now it is available through Costa Farms Trending Tropicals line. So lots to pick from, and I just love that Costa Farms is continually just bringing a lot of new releases. I am hoping Costa Farms puts out an amazing aglaonema new release. That would just be amazing. I've noticed that what is it? Proven Winners Leaf Joy actually released the aglaonema Silver Queen, or was it Silver Queen? That was such a beautiful plant that I got in a H2O bowl. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check out my previous plant shopping video. It's featured there. But as far as all of the plants here, really satisfied, because at the end of the day, you know, Walmart always has consistency also when it comes to indoor tropical plants, especially during the spring season, and more plants will definitely appear throughout the spring season and early summer. We're starting to see some other plants that you can grow indoors as well that are typically grown outdoors, such as caladiums and coleus plants. But aglaonema red siam, if you don't have one, plant foldies, you've got to at least get that one. Try it at least one time, see if you like it. But it is an easy to care for plant, and I feel like the value of the plant increases when more people are actually enjoying it and you have somebody to discuss it with and share your love for that particular plant. That is the reason why, again, Plant Foldies, you guys are the very best plant community, because you guys really do interact with each other. So if you're watching this video and you actually made it to this live premiere, join the live chat. There's a lot of really friendly plant foldies. If you actually search hashtag popularize aglaonema on Instagram, you'll be able to connect with other plant foldies. But anyways, let me just keep walking around here, and then I'm going to show you some of the planters and some of my picks in terms of planters at Walmart, because I feel like planters at Walmart are the most cost effective. Now, when you talk about my classic planter, $4.74 for a 6-inch terracotta planter. Now, these are the modern looking terracotta planters, so it's not the typical one. I love these, and the reason why I love these terracotta planters is, especially if you are somebody that overwaters plants, or you have plants that are either succulents, cactus, or aglaonema that prefer to be on the drier side, growing them in terracotta planters is going to make it easier for the moisture to dry out a little bit faster, which kind of prevents plants from actually getting root rot, because terracotta actually absorbs the moisture a lot faster. So a lot of my aglaonema that I've received have been potted up in these modern terracotta planters. I really love the shape. It's very simplistic, and when it comes down to it, I mean, the price is right. It is all about trying to save money. It's all about trying to manage your finances. You know, growing plants, having a plant hobby is a expensive one. So we want to try to find ways to minimize spending, and that's one way to do it, is finding cost-effective plant prices like this, or planters. $2.49 for these 4-inch terracotta planters, and they are super modern looking. Really love the simplicity of it. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think about the modern terracotta planters this season that Walmart has released. I think they're the best pricing available, and then we're just gonna walk around, and I'm gonna pick up some more of these planters. Let me know again in the comment section which ones you like. Do you like this bubble one right here, this pink one? I mean, who doesn't like pink planters? As much as I love pink plants, I also love pink planters. I feel like it just works for any space, honestly. But, you know, that remains to be seen. You know, everybody has their own different aesthetics, but let's just walk around and do some planter shopping at Walmart. And the majority of planters that are offered at Walmart, I would definitely buy. I mean, if you were to compare Walmart's planters as to all the other big box stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, and Target. Walmart has the most inexpensive planters for your plants. So that would be my recommendation. And I do think that over the years, Walmart has really spent some time elevating their planter brand. And lastly, I did want to show you some plant products I use before I end this video. $13.48 Osmocote Plus. Really good slow release fertilizer that you can mix into your soil substrates. Some people have mixed opinions about Miracle-Gro all-purpose plant food. I like it. It's got a 20-20-20 balanced solution. And so if you want something that is just going to be balanced for any type of plant you grow, I would recommend this. Now, some people want to go the more organic route. If you wanted something more organic, what I would recommend would be like the Fox Farm fertilizers or We the Wild Grow Concentrate. Now, I've never tried the Garden Expert plant food, but it's basically only for $3.88, which is going to be the most inexpensive, cost-effective plant fertilizer you can purchase. It's similar to Miracle-Gro fertilizer. I've never tried it, so for those that have actually used that fertilizer, let me know in the comment section how effective it is. But that's another place when it comes down to your plant products. The things I like to use, Miracle-Gro doesn't fertilize, it does fertilize my plants, but what I'm trying to say is Miracle-Gro does not sponsor me. I am open to sponsorship, so Miracle-Gro, if you're watching this, let me know in the comment section. But these are products that I legitimately use. I use the indoor plant food. I just use one drop and put it in my hydroponic water to just grow my plants that are growing in leca and semi-hydroponic substrates, and that does it for me. I've never tried Dr. Earth fertilizers. I'm curious to see about anybody's reviews, and really that's another thing. As far as the plant products that I use, I think I'm gonna pepper that in more so some of my videos, because I feel like I get a lot of questions, direct messages about what I use. Like even these single ones right here are perfect if you want to just do a mass watering. Spring is the best time to fertilize your plants because they are actively growing, and some people say Super Thrive does not do anything for the plants. I swear by it, especially when I am getting plants from overseas, when I'm trying to rehydrate, rehab them. That B vitamin really revitalizes the plant. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's shopping video today. Join my YouTube membership tier, Super Plant Foldies, if you are interested for more content. As always, this is Richie at Growfold. Subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notifications on. I will have more brand new content available for you this week. I've got a lot filmed, so I'm back at it, and I really appreciate y'all's viewership. See you soon.